Hey everybody, it's Jim of Animateducated. Today we have a special guest, Raul Garcia, and he is the author, I guess, or artist of the 12 Basic Principles of Animation. But how did you get the idea to kind of come up with a Principles of Animation flipbook?
A long time ago, I used to do like flipbooks for Christmas and send it to my friends. And so the idea of the flipbook, again, is an obsession from when I was a kid. And I still think it's magical and it's pretty amazing. So when we came out with this idea of doing a six faces flipbook, it was like, 6 double of 6 is 12. 12, what is 12? Oh, the principles of animation, does it?
Right.
It came by pure chance in terms of I wanted to do an educational flipbook to show animation to the kids. And suddenly I got this possibility of doing 12 different animations. And there was like, well, it will be perfect. Like every side will have an animation principle, and then we can elaborate on that and add a little explanation. And the fun part about that is when you animate 12 frames a second or 24 frames a second, whatever the cadence you do. But in flipbooks, is the viewer the one who decide, how fast and how slow. So it was kind of tricky to try to figure out how to animate it so it will look half decent. Because obviously it's a flipbook, you cannot really repeat two drawings like in normal animation. So everything has to be kind of like thought of in once to allow the viewer to actually flip at their heart content and being able to do it as they want.
Yeah. So I'll just put this up. You've got this. This is it. It's the 12 Basic Principles of Animation, and you can get this from
Flipbook.
If you wanted to do your own flipbook, they have like a whole customized thing that
Yeah, they have one called Blanco that is basically blank pages of flipbook, so you can do your own.
Yeah, I got that one. I got that one right here. So
yeah, exactly. The problem is you got it there, and then it's so precious and so beautiful.
Yeah,
printed and bounded.
Oh yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, I came up with a flipbook for our wedding, and wedding favors and everything, and it was a success. They liked it. People liked it. They could, like I said, people could color it. Some of the kids would color it. And then we thought, oh, this would be great. Let's go to a wedding expo, and we'll make a bunch of different like prototypes and let people come and look at them. And it was so funny because we had them all set up, and there's like florists and limousines and people who make cakes or dresses, and here are these two people just sitting there with a bunch of these little books here. And it was so funny because people would come up and they're, oh, what's this? And they're like, oh, it's a flip book. And they're like, oh, and they would go,
how do you read it?
Yeah, and they're just like looking at the same image, and they're like, what is this? And then when you actually, see, you flip it, and they're like, oh, wow, okay, I get it.
Technical side for these flipbooks is pretty amazing because basically they're bound by hand. I mean, there's no machine that can sort out and cut exactly every page. So it's really like a small operation.
Yeah,
very dedicated, very professional people.
Oh, great. So your history with animation goes back to, when did you first learn about animation or see something and go, ooh, I would like that. How do I get into this?
I mean, that was in the Jurassic time, when dinosaurs will roam the earth. No, I've been drawing all my life, and I'm one of those creepy kids that when I was a small child, I will sit down in front of the television with a pad copying the drawings from the television. So I always had this idea of well, people are lawyers, people are nurses, people are doctors, people are firemen. Must be somewhere someone whose profession is making those cartoons that I like. And obviously, being a kid, that someone was Disney. So it was like, that would be cool if I will be Disney. Yeah, I want to be Disney. So that's how everything started. And obviously the little detail that we forget is like, I'm originally from Spain, from Madrid, and in those times, Spain was not very well known by their animators or their animated films. So there was kind of like the weird feeling of, I want to be something that there's not such a thing here, no way to study, no way to find that. So ever since I was a little kid, I used to like read and absorb everything about animation I could find. Suddenly, those were the times where they used to show Disneyland, the TV program on TV, and you're there like with 7, 8, 9 years old, seeing from the land of the Far West. Oh, then adventure, no. and suddenly there will be like 1 or 2 programs about how animation is made, and I will go run and take a cassette, those things, remember, and actually and record the sound, because there was no VCR at the time.
Right.
So it was really, really interesting and exciting times. And anytime I will find an article or something about animation, and of course the flipbooks. Suddenly the finding that Disneyland flipbook for me was like, wow, animation.
Yeah.
In your hands.
Right.
And at the same time, it was kind of exciting. I remember the first animation book that I fall in my hands was the Preston Blair animation.
Right.
Remember, Spain.
Right.
I speak Spanish. I didn't speak any English.
Right.
But there it was, the book that I love and memorized. And I actually went and trace every drawing, and in between every drawing, and shoot it in Super 8. And
so you probably remember this one, like,
Oh yeah, that was great. Oh, what a great book!
Yeah. But yeah, no, this was a great book. I mean,
When Illusion of Life came out, that was brilliant. I mean, I remember I was in the Ottawa Film Festival, and Ollie Johnson and Brian Thomas were there. And I actually spent all my savings on buying the book, just to find out that the book I couldn't read because it was in English, and my English was non-existent. So so it was like, I had to do something about this, because I cannot read 1 page a book a month with my dictionary.
Yeah. So you had to like translate everything, and which is a lot of work. Yeah.
The funny part is then, when you work in animation, and especially coming from this thing of being self-taught, I really felt the need to teach and to share my knowledge of what I've been learning all through the years. So if any kid finds himself in the same situation, that I want to be in animation and I don't know how to start, they could actually learn from past mistakes, because obviously learning on your own is kind of a hit and miss kind of thing, and allow you to live in this state of perpetual doubt, where you don't really sure if what you're doing is the right thing. So suddenly, when you start working professionally and you start working with all this amazing talent all over you, you start learning from them, and you start learning. You never stop learning, basically. Even if you go to the best school, you go to CalArts or to Sheridan or any of those schools, still, you cannot say, I know everything in animation, because that's not true. So in one point, I felt that I had the need to show everything I knew, especially for Spanish-speaking people, because in English, in America, and you have like a million books explaining every nuance, every little thing about animation. But in Spain or in all Latin America, there's a need to this kind of books. So actually, a long time ago, like 20 years ago, I published this book here. It's called The Magic of Animation. And in this book already I have, let me see if I can show you, already I have some kind of flipbooks. Flipbook here. Okay, hold on. The camera thing.
Yeah.
Oh, here. Let's see if I can show it to you. There.
It's a little hard to see. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Something. So, yeah. There we go.
So the book already had.
So you just wrote that book so you could do that. That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things about main principles and how this is how an
Oh
exit used to
gosh.
be. It's like,
Oh no. Yeah.
I mean, the book's completely obsolete now. Suddenly you see like, whoa, an
Oh
animation
yeah.
style.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you go to the special effects side, suddenly it is like, oh look, special effects thing with different exposures and stuff like that.
Right,
So
right.
it's like, how can I go and make this book current now, and how can we address a new generation, the YouTube generation, with something that will be educational, that will be fun to learn animation. And again, doesn't matter how many tutorials you can see in the internet. There's something magical about having that little thing and flip it and see it move.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Call me nostalgic if you want.
So so basically you're an animator, but you've also done some teaching as well.
I currently teach in the LaSalle College of the Arts in Singapore, from Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
There's
And yes, it's something that I really enjoy doing.
okay.
And it's interesting because in the process of teach, the students teach as well. It's like a two-way street.
Right.
And keep you fresh, and it's interesting again. There's a lot of students now in their late teens, early 20s that never seen a Tex Avery film. Or for them, Bugs Bunny is a relic of the past, and suddenly you look for those great classic films from Tex Avery, from Chuck Jones, and show it to them, and there's like a new thing. It's like suddenly they discover something pretty amazing that is pretty hard now to actually come by.
So are you still teaching then? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So the pandemic, you haven't had any problems with that? You just kind of staying at home and sending out stuff and all that? Yeah.
No, actually it's been really crazy during the pandemic, because especially the last year, when nobody was going anywhere, I was going to the studio, because the last thing I worked was a project for Nickelodeon of the reboot of the Fairly Odd Parents as a sitcom. So it is like a live action mixed with animation, going back to my Roger Rabbit days, but with today's technology. But it's been kind of different and interesting and challenging and everything. So I keep working in the industry continuously, half in other people's projects and half of my own projects, and that's how I try to keep being creative and keep working in animation. That is basically what I like and love to do.
Working on, what was the series you were working on?
The Fairly Odd Parents, Fairly Odder.
Oh, Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Paramount Plus. That right. Just came out about like 3 weeks ago or so. The last feature I directed, it was Extraordinary Tales, that I actually did a little flip book about it, and that's why we started this thing of the principles of animation, because I made a flip book out of my film, and that was a CGI film based on Edgar Allan Poe stories. There was 5 different stories, different styles, narrated by people like Christopher Lee or Guillermo del Toro. So it was a project of love that took me 9 years to complete. So after 9 years, when the film is over, then you have to fight the second fight, that is like to make the world aware that you make a film. And that was a little bit too much. So I decided to take it easy for the next one, and kind of like gather my energy again, because every film that you do independently is a fight. What I have plans is to do a couple more volumes of Principles of Animation. I want to do another 2 flip books, one about human locomotion, another one about animal locomotion, and that will be my next wacky project in flipbook form.
Flipbook is the place you want to go. I'll put the website right here so everybody can go and check it out.
They have a collection of, it's called Pioneers of Animation.
Right.
New Rich, that you know. it's your friend.
Yeah,
And those ones have the same technology of augmented reality. So with the phone, you can check the flipbook, and it comes with a bio and a story of the filmmaker. So it's really cool, really nice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, this is great. So, well, I want to thank you for coming on Animateducated and letting us know about the flipbooks that you made and what you've been working on and all that. And yeah, I hope you make that next one. And I'll definitely be in line getting the next one. So
no problem. Again,
yeah.
flipboku.com is great. It's fun. Please go for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Raul Garcia and learning all about this new product from Flipbooks. And if you did and you like this, why don't you go ahead and press that button right there to subscribe to this channel. I've got other videos you might be interested in. Just scroll down. Here's a couple that you might like. And we'll see you next time on Animateducated.